I mean, the headline, as Sinema resists the budget bill, she is set to raise money from business groups that oppose it. Like she, give her credit. She is like the Republicans. I mean, she's not hiding it, at least. She's just flaunting how corrupt she is. So Sinema is openly holding fundraisers with the National Associations of Wholesaler Distributors and the Grocers PAC, along with lobbyists for roofers and electrical contractors, and a small business group called the S Corp Political Action Committee have invited association members to an undisclosed location, undisclosed like in the bunker, on Tuesday afternoon for 45 minutes to write checks for between $1,000 and $5,800, payable to Sinema for Arizona. First of all, I was kind of shocked that was in the New York Times, because all these stories like kind of leave out the elephant in the room, that these people are bought off and corrupt. But I don't know. I feel like I'm a broken record, but what I'm seeing right now, and why I made the headline holding firm, parentheses, for now, is because they're not using their greatest asset, which is the people, which is deflating the people. People are already deflated. The way to inflate them or excite them is to show you're going to fight. And yeah, they might think, well, we are fighting. We're saying we're going to vote no against the bipartisan infrastructure deal. Yeah, that's going like 50% that way, though. The way to fight is to say, no, we will not vote for that. We will not go under 3.5 trillion. And we will be visiting Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema very soon and rally with the very people that they represent, who desperately need all 3.5 trillion of this, and let them be on the defense, responding to why they won't do it for the people that they represent.
So in talking about Sinema, let's all get how about actually a lot more angry. Colin, if you can pop up this Sahil Kupar tweet about what Manchin said. Manchin on the $3.5 trillion bill. We're just concerned about entitlement mentality versus rewarding mentality, and then taking care of those who really can't take care of themselves. There's so much good stuff in there that we're still working diligently. Entitlement mentality. What a D-bag. This is a guy who does not care about people. That's it. He only cares about profits and Joe Manchin and his power or whatever. For him to say that is so horrifically disgusting. It is a very right-wing Republican thing to say. It's not even, a centrist Republican thing to say. It's extremely right-wing. Oh, an entitlement mentality. We don't want people to, feel like we're just giving them things. Hey, what are you doing, bud? People are really struggling here. People are dying. You're fine with the entitlement mentality of big businesses, but not for everyday people. That's not okay.
And by the way, maybe we should talk about his daughter's entitlement mentality. Since you go to West Virginia, apparently he basically paid the university to pass her through college. Then she infamously was the CEO, I think, of Mylan, which was one of these price gouging companies that exploded the cost of, I think it was insulin in the case of his daughter.
Was it insulin? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was insulin or something else, but her daughter was the CEO of a pharmaceutical company and was just fixing the prices and just making them soar to the point that people couldn't afford it. So you want to talk about entitlement? How about the entitlement of the very donors that you, Manchin and Sinema, refuse to raise their taxes? So no entitlements for the poor folk, plenty of corporate welfare for our donors. It is so fucking transparently corrupt. It is so fucking transparently empty and lacking any sort of coherent virtue. And the media, completely behind these people, will not question them, will not point out, well, you want to means test this, but I mean, Manchin supported the $1.5 trillion Trump tax cut. He didn't vote for it because they didn't need the Democrats' votes. Republicans rammed that through the same reconciliation package. But Manchin publicly supported it. He doesn't seem to think millionaires and billionaires should be means tested for the tax cuts they're getting. Him and Sinema don't want to raise taxes on wealthy people. Wouldn't you call that a little entitlement? I mean, it's just disgusting. And what I just truly, I'm baffled by it.
Correction, folks are telling us it was EpiPens. That's what I had remembered too.
EpiPen, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Why I said during Bernie's campaign, I thought he was a great man. He's done a lot for the progressive movement, but he would just, some people could like bring the baby to the water, but you got to drink it. Is he just didn't have that killer instinct, just like the progressives don't seem to have that killer instinct, because it's just very obvious right now what needs to be done. And that is to shame these people, to publicly point out the money they are taking, to publicly point out, I think David Sirota reported on it, that Sinema recently got hundreds of $1,000s from dark money pharmaceutical groups. So did the 3 Democrats who voted against lowering the prescription drug. Like, that's not a minor detail in a story. That is the story. And if the media is not going to report it, then the progressives should be going ham in person on their doorsteps. And if they're not going to, frankly, then, I can't attack people who criticize them, because I'm criticizing them. I can't attack people for the mentality of like, well, what's the point of voting? I mean, I don't think we should completely shun electoral politics. I think we should do both electoral outside strategies. I don't think either are universally or what's the term? I don't think they're mutually exclusive where it's one or the other. But at the same time, at a certain point, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And it's not enough to say we're going to vote no on the bipartisan deal and then accept a strong package. Well, what's a strong package? You're going to accept $2 trillion, which basically would be down from $6 trillion. I'm not on board with that. And you could get a lot closer to 3.5 trillion if you would just go on offense and say, fuck it. We've got the people. We've got the energy. We're going on offense and we're going to shame these people. And I don't care if we get castigated as, oh, Dem disarray and the progressives aren't uniting, blah, 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 blah. No, they already united. They bit their tongue and they've complimented Biden, who is a Republican. They folded like a tenth on the $15 minimum wage. This is Bernie and the squad. They just accepted it, that it was being removed from the COVID relief bill. Biden ran in a public option. He's moonwalked on that. They haven't said a word. The list goes on and on. I mean, just look at Ro Khanna's answer on Julian Assange. So I don't know, Jen. Maybe I'm a broken record, but maybe we need to make a video like with cartoons standing in for them at these rallies so they get the point. It's just crazy. And I got to tell you,
their cardboard cutouts. So about like 4 thoughts ago, you brought up the media. So I wanted to pinpoint exactly what's happening. The media is already manufacturing consent here preemptively. Colin, if you can pop up the Noah Smith tweet, please. So this is a Bloomberg guy. He's a Bloomberg opinion guy. And he says, remember Flint? The infrastructure bill would make sure that never happened again. When a bill promises to get poison out of the drinking water of every poor person and every marginalized person in America, you vote for that bill. So yeah, a normal, everyday person maybe hasn't been paying attention to exactly what's in the bill because people are working 2 and 3 jobs. They don't have time to dig into what's in here. They don't have time to figure out what exactly happened with Flint. They're like, okay, this guy has a blue check. He works for Bloomberg. Okay, I guess he's right. So even, potentially like not in tune progressive or a not in tune Dem would see that and think, okay, yeah, maybe I've heard, maybe we're not going to get everything, but that's great. That's good. Let's fix Flint. Let's fix everywhere. Yeah, but that's a complete lie. Noah Smith is absolutely lying 100%. They cut down so much of the money that would have gone to help with that in the infrastructure bill. It's not even going to touch it. And second of all, they don't know where a lot of these lead lines, these galvanized pipes, they don't know where they are. In Flint's case, many of them were written, the records were written on index cards, and many of them were illegible when they were trying to, at the height of this crisis, and they couldn't figure it out. Well, that's in many cases all across the country. So even if there was enough money, which there is not, this is not like a sure thing, let's do it. You know what does add more money to help fix pipes is the reconciliation bill, which is what progressives are trying to get pushed through. So we all have to be very careful of who we listen to and the little snippets, because people don't have time to sit and read 10 articles a day. They might have time to catch, the Chiron on CNN, maybe a couple New York Times headlines, maybe a Bloomberg headline, maybe a few tweets a day, whatever. Okay, here's Noah Smith telling me this. Okay, I'll believe it. That's disgusting. He's using Flint and lying.
There's a common thread. Whenever you see these people invoke Flint, they have never been to Flint, Michigan. They have never spoken with the residents.